Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi, Destiny 2, still on the Spire. So, we start on the Spire. The first portion of the Spire was more of like a jumping puzzle for everything. And I did a video on that where I finally figured out what my problem was with jumping. Since then, my friends have given me some more advice on how to jump. And so, yes. And I have my opinion on what I think my jumping is, but I hear what they're saying to me. We went through the middle part and beat that. And what I want to tell you is that I have no idea what I'm doing here, right? So I've never seen this place, and I don't know the mechanic. At this point, we've finished the middle part. There's a jumping puzzle to get onto the platform below us. Sloth and Ultimate figured out that you kill a lieutenant, which leaves a pile of white, a circle of white. You step in that white, you get a charge, and then you shoot connections to engage the connections. And on the bottom, there was a symmetrical kind of, it seems symmetrical, but on one side it'd be one way to complete it, and the other side would be another way to complete it. And I just did ad clears. Mainly, I just died a lot. I'm probably the worst person to be in it. And usually when there's those type of mechanics, unless someone specifically shows me what to do, maybe I should be watching a video before that. I probably should. But I didn't. So I just did ad clear. And we made it up to here on this part. On this part, each of these 4 platforms that extend out have to be energized. The last one you energize, the boss will go there, and then you start putting damage on the boss. I think this is either the second, it's not, or it may be the last. I think this is the second. We may attack the boss. We may figure out how to do this. As we figured out this section, it goes faster and faster. So I'm using Graviton Lance, which kills the reds pretty easy. On the lieutenant, it's a little bit harder. And so if I don't stay on top of it for my part, I will get overrun from like the opposite end. You see they're coming down on the left too. Usually if I'm on top of it, I can kind of control it and, just turn 90 degrees and do it and do it and do it. I'm saving my machine gun for the boss, but this is one of those times where so many purples dropping, I should just be mowing these things down with my machine gun. So that's a mistake on my part as I look back at the ad clearing that I'm doing. I'm here with Sloth Moods and Ultimate Shield 340. And on a lot of this content, they're usually carrying me. I'm sure they're sick and tired of carrying me. There's some content I do good at, and some content I'm not as good at because I have to figure out the mechanic. But nonetheless, here we are. So I get into rhythms at time for doing this. And other times you can see I get out of phase with the bosses. So you can see there's both sides. So I'm going to try to snipe them off here from under this cover. And then I'll go back up top and then push down one of those lanes. Now, here's what I don't know how to do. I don't know how to turn the power on this thing. So you can see if I kill a lieutenant, you'll see the white come out. So there's a lieutenant up there to the left. Let's say I try to take him out. And then when he goes down, he'll leave some white. At this point, this is like either the second or third time again. I don't remember which. I just get off that. There's one of those white sections. So if I hit that, I get a buff. And then I would have to go turn on each of these stanchions. I don't know how to do that. So I'm just ad clearing. Normally, when I don't know how to do something, I go on YouTube and figure out how to do that. Part of what's enjoyable on some of these things is that when we figure this out, and that's part of the enjoyment of the game for me. So I'm a little bit lax to go to that. And no one just rushed to it right away. But like when we first got up here, it was not clear what we were supposed to do. But part of the thing I like about Destiny 2 is grinding out, so you get a chance to kill a lot of different things. This is one thing so that I was considering, would it be better to let that lieutenant come to the end because then someone could pick it up, or is it better, I don't know where you have to go to turn these things on. So would it have been better to get that buff more at this other end? So that's some strategy I don't know. And so it begs the question, what do you do when you're not sure what to do? And this is a thing that I will struggle with at times. I'm trying to figure out, so for Ronan Kazi, to speak of myself in the third person, I like to try to figure things out. So as I'm doing this, I'm trying to say, okay, what rhythm is this that I'm seeing? So normally, if I kill the reds when they're next to the lieutenant, I'm doing so much damage to the lieutenant with Graviton Lance because they're all blowing up that I can really push to that end. I can push the enemy. I can wipe them out before they come down this far. So hopefully I'll do that here. Apparently I'm not. So that's one of the things as we get to the boss phase, which I think we're getting close to now. Okay. So I finally figure out, like, there's the boss. I finally get to him. I see him, and you can see there's no damage, and look at what I do. So my teammates end up damaging the boss. You can look at the boss's health bar there. And I just fall off backward, which that is like optimized Ronin Kazi gameplay in Destiny 2. No reason to strafe at that point, but I'm still strafing. I'm moving backwards. At this point, we've been going about 2.5 hours, maybe a little less than 2.5 hours. Maybe we've been going 2 hours. And it's a Saturday night, and we're not making a lot of progress. And part of it is when we get to the boss phase, we're not doing enough damage. And so a mistake I made, normally I have a auto rifle that's pretty good at doing damage. Sweet Dreams or something, I think it's called. Because it ramps up the damage. Also, the other thing is I'm a melee build, so I should be doing melee at the boss. So what happens for me normally when there's something new is I get fixated. This doesn't matter whether it's Diablo 4, The Division, Division 2, Ghost Recon, Wildlands, Ghost Recon, Breakpoint. Doesn't matter what game, Star Wars The Old Republic. I kind of get this tunnel vision of what I'm supposed to be doing. And then only when I think about it after the first or second time, I can't figure, I figure it out maybe a little bit later after that first or second time. Partly some of the builds I make in different games, I try to either heal through that or I try to AoE damage through that. Or, you want to be tanky through that. Destiny 2 is definitely not a game where you're going to be tanky. I'd say it's very modern in that respect. They let you tank some, but you really got to kill things. So it's really a time to kill equation. So as we go through these iterations, I figure out better and better ways to help clear. You can ignore those flying things, but really what happens when you ignore those, they build up, they stack up such much that you have to stop what you're doing. And you see this guy's halfway down here, so I get him in the middle. What would be optimal if I knew how to engage one of those platforms is for me to engage the platform I'm on. The optimal way would be this. Each person takes the exact same lane they do their lane, and then all three get on the lane to do the last boss. I think you have to rotate the lanes, but the idea would be that each one of you is responsible for doing your own lane, and then you all converge on the last lane where the boss is going to be, and then therefore the blah, blah, blah. So then you're all in the same place at the right time. But it's easy for me to say that in hindsight. So that's one of the benefits of hindsight, but also it didn't help us during the middle of this. And probably for me, I might have mentioned this before, like, I don't think I can focus for 2 hours with the same intensity, right? So as I start dying, I start taking more risks. I start, staying later on a target than maybe I should. And what you're going to see is I got full melee, so I should be using my melee, but I just don't use it. So these are all things, these are probably indicators that I have some type of tunnel vision. Probably should have taken a break, but it was late for all of us. And it might not have helped me. In subsequent chats, Sloth found a build and a mechanic where we should be able to put more damage on the boss. And so maybe we'll try that if we do this again. Obviously, this next part, right, if I recorded it, I should be flawless in the jumping because I've solved that now. I've seen all the jumps. Probably I should pay more attention. Maybe I could go back and look at how to turn this stuff on, especially on that second level. Those guys have done it so fast, but I should probably learn how to do that. And then finally, when we get to this phase, it'd be worth our while if we get through those other phases faster for me to learn, what we have to do here. So maybe that's a point where I get homework and I look at, each wing and what I got to do on each wing. And that might be a situation where I got to figure out, I'm sure on the main platform, there's a way to figure out which is where, by that pattern of things on the bottom. Like you could say, where the hose has gone off over on the left or the right or whatever. But that's just some thoughts. I was very happy with doing this because it's on my map. It's something I never could do. I spent money to do it, and I was excited that we got this far. That's Roxy, everyone. That we got this far on our first try. This is normally when I say, please like, and this is a fail right there because you can't do it from that side. Please like, share, resubscribe, subscribe, comment. But I went to the wrong side, and then I do some damage. But it would have been nice if I would have done all my stuff right there. But I didn't because I didn't realize it was one-sided. I guess I kind of didn't put 2 and 2 together. And we do some more damage. And so at this point, goodbye.